Okay, this is probably the last time that you want to hear in your backyard or playing in your park. Why? Because most of us don't like bees. But this, on the other hand, it's beautiful, it's relaxing, it's nature, it sounds great. But what most people don't realize is that you can't have the beautiful sounds of nature without the noise of buzzing bees. So people kill bees every day. And they think, oh, well, by me killing the bees, you're protecting yourself, but what you're really doing is endangering the environment. So if you ever got stung by a bee, I'm sure you got once, at least once, resented bees. But today you're going to learn how to appreciate them. I am credible to talk about this topic because I took AP Environmental Science, where you learn the importance of bees to the environment. And also I have revisited this topic and done a lot of research. The killing of bees will lead to a negative outcome to the environment. And to sustain our environment, we must save the bees. First, I'll talk about the problem, which is the fact that we just keep killing bees. Then secondly, I'll talk about the cause, which is us killing bees by extermination and by pesticides. And then lastly, I'll talk about the solutions, which is us making the right phone calls. So, bee spray. So first, let's start off with the problem. Bees are being killed, and they play an important role in society, in our world, and the killing of bees is drastic to human life. In a Business Insider article published June 22nd, 2013, Dean Inspector, senior science reporter, stated nearly one-third of the world's crops are dependent on honeybees for pollination. But over the last decade, the black and yellow insects have been dying at an unprecedented rate, both in the U.S. and abroad. So, as I said, bees play a huge role in plant life, and the only way that we can sustain our healthy growth of plants is through bees, through pollination. So bees are dying at a really high rate, which is a huge problem because if we don't find an alternate way to pollinate, we're going to have to look at either other resources for pollination. So, nectar. Nectar from bees is what gives us a tasty snack, honey, that you put in your food, you have in your breakfast, anything. So, not only are we losing out on pollination, we're losing out on one of the healthiest snacks out there. And it's essential to food supply, not only just for honey, but also other crops. In an Eating Well article published March 2009, author Rowan Jacobson, an awarded author for the Nature issue, stated, corn, wheat, and other grains rely on the wind to spread their pollen. Without bees spreading pollination and doing pollination, we'll have to find an alternative way, and that hasn't been found out yet. And if it does, it'll have to be really meticulous and repetitive. Something else might cost a lot of money that we do not have funds for. So, now that we have talked about the problem is the fact that we kill bees, let's move on to the causes, which is pesticides and extermination. So there are two toxic. So pesticides are toxic to basically everything. They're even toxic to us. But there are two specific pesticides that are toxic to bees. In Mother Earth News, an article published in November 2009 by Amanda Kimball, it is noted that the EPA identifies two specific neonicotinoids called imidacloprid and clothianid as highly toxic to bees. Both of these chemicals cause symptoms such as memory loss, navigation disruption, paralysis, and death. So what these pesticides are doing is creating the issue called colony collapse disorder, where beekeepers are now dealing with that. They don't have a lot of bees because their bees are dying at such high rates. And because of this, over 25% of the bee population has been killed due to colony collapse disorder. So, how are we the problem?
Bee squatting.
Yes, we are the problem as well. So, even though human swatting bees is not the main reason why bees are dying, us killing them is helping. And if bees attack if they're aggravated, so if you don't bother them, they won't bother you most likely. but our fear for them causes us to get them exterminated if we see them somewhere around our household. So, now that I've talked about the causes, let's move on to the solutions to save bees. Saving bees can be as simple as making the right phone call. You can call a local beekeeper instead of getting bees exterminated, you can call a local beekeeper and they'll gladly come and they'll pick up the bees that are located around your house. In Yahoo News, Marianne Fraser, Senior Extension Associate of Penn State's Etymology Department, stated in an article published January 2nd, 2009, that most states have state and local beekeeping associations with beekeepers who are happy to collect colonies such as these. So, instead of killing the bees that provide the nectar that go into your shampoo, your facial cleaner, your food, your breakfast, save them. So, what's another way that we can save bees is by stopping the use of certain pesticides, or also using fungicides. So, banning pesticides is a huge thing that would help save the bees. Even though it's really hard to ban all the pesticides, we can definitely ban the 2 specific pesticides that go to killing bees. Right now, there is a petition to ban neonicotinoids, which are known for killing bees, and EPA is acting fast because it's crucial to save our bee population. So, it's crucial to save our bee population because over 10 million bees have died in the past 6 years. In an RT article published July 25th, 2013, author Dennis Van Engelshort, a senior studies author, stated that we do not think of fungicides as having a negative effect on bees because they are not designed to kill insects. Therefore, as simple as us switching from using pesticides to using fungicides could save the bees. So, now that I've talked about the solutions on how to save bees, I will conclude. So, the killing of bees equals a negative outcome in the environment, and to sustain our environment, we need to save the bees. First, I talked about the problem, which is that bees are important to the world, they're important to our crops, they're important to the sustainment of environment. Then I talked about the causes, which is us killing bees through extermination and also the use of pesticides. And then lastly, I talked about how to save the bees, which can be done by not using certain pesticides or also making the right phone call to a beekeeper instead of an exterminator. So just as you don't expect to be slapped from when you meet somebody on your first time and you hug them, bees don't expect to be swatted. And if you were a bee, you've probably seen yourself too. So I just hope that you guys learn to not be cruel to the animals that are keeping our environment keep our world thriving. Thank you.